All right. Hello, everyone.
Happy Sunday. We're not where we usually are today. We're actually
on the floor.
At our brother's house. So, yeah, it's a little bit different this week. And because we were not at home, I did not actually get around to making notes about all the hashtag and going over all the for everyone's videos. So, we're going to have to do that next week. But hopefully, well, it looks like Mr. Josie has queued to talk about what's happened this week. But before we get into that, it is
Sunday.
I think next week is going to be the last Sunday of the month. So next week is going to be the giveaway. And really looking forward to that.
Giveaway week.
Yeah.
So again, if you guys want to be in the video of the month, get those videos posted.
Yeah, and then you get a chance to win everything that's given away next week. No, it's not a closet. It's our brother's office.
Yes, we are in a closet.
No, we're not in a closet. Don't tell them we're in a closet. They'll believe you.
Yeah.
We're not in a closet.
But turning over to the chat, hello, Lori's World and Dark Lord Menet and Jennifer Ocean Homestead.
We're not in a closet.
That's what she wants you to believe.
Hi,
Lewis Acre Farm, Rem's family, Dee's Garden Adventures, Miss Diane. No, I tried to save that. ER and It All Adds Up. And anyone in chat that I've missed, thank you guys so much for coming. We already have a question also. What's the deadline for the final video?
Okay, so the deadline is technically October 18th. You want to get it up before the 19th. So preferably 18th, as I'm probably not going to have... probably the 18th. Just get them in before the 18th. Otherwise, they won't be counted for the video. Because Mr. Jesse has to get them all in the wheel and everything.
We're looking forward to seeing it. I do have this fancy little thing that I got Trey to make because I didn't like mine. But these are some suggestions. Oops, for your final video. How do I close that? There we go.
Now this is not like you have to do all these.
Yeah, don't.
You don't have to answer all these questions.
You don't even have to answer any of them.
Yeah, your final video can be whatever you want as long as it says final video and hashtag survival seeds, so we know that's what it is,
and we can put it in the playlist.
These are just some things that KK would like to see in your video.
Questions
that she'd like to have answered. Just click it.
I did. It's not coming down.
Well, click one of the other images.
It's not coming up.
Mr. Jesse, can you hide this? Huh.
Okay. I will get that down when I can get it down. Then.
Why won't it let you?
I don't know. I have like. Nothing's working.
Delete it. It's not letting us take it down.
Okay. Well, anyway, that.
It's not letting me do anything. Hang in there, everyone.
Okay, well, sorry about that. My StreamYard crashed, so that's why I wasn't. But sorry. Why is my series working?
I can do this. I can scratch your nose. I can scratch her nose.
They can hear you. He's playing with his mouse.
I can scratch your nose,
trying to
but
pick
that's
your
all
nose.
that's all I can do.
But hello and thank you for being here. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good.
I
think we're doing good.
Okay, there we are. I have some cherry tomato plants outside.
And some hornworms.
Well, nice. Yeah, I picked up 6 hornworms outside.
Oh my gosh.
One for every day that we were gone.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But the tomatoes are doing great. They're cherry tomatoes. They're not the Mariana tomatoes, but cherry tomatoes. And I got to me, it's a ton because I've never really grown that many before. I've got like 3 or 4. No, this one is like
loaded.
At least 50 on one plants.
Can you see it?
Wow.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah, we can
And I
see it.
started them
Great.
hydroponically.
Wow, that is
Look.
awesome.
That's
So
great.
yeah, we're ecstatic. We're ecstatic.
So
And
I'm happy.
we probably would have had double the amount of tomatoes that are on the plant now had it been had not been for those 6 hornworms. Because I think they ate them half of them.
Right.
Well, one of them actually was eating, almost done eating one of the little tomatoes. I thought they just
Yeah,
ate
that's not
the
good.
The
leaves.
nerve, how
But-
rude.
But I pulled them
Right?
off with some tweezers and cut them in half.
Yeah.
And I
We
got
had the
some
I would
weirdest
never do that.
green stuff on my shirt. Yeah, gross.
Yeah, yeah. We have a great system for hornworms. If there's a hornworm, either
Uh-oh.
Now they're buffering.
Uh-oh.
Well, welcome to Lazy
lost
Days
them.
Ahead with Jesse.
And Lisa.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Now we can say whatever we want. In fact, I think we're going to give away some Wagyu beef. The vineyard's going to have to give y'all some Wagyu beef now. No, I'm just joking. Oh, well, we do have a guest down below, and I'm sure they're excited about getting to talk to this guest if they ever come back. Oh, there they are.
Wi-Fi keeps crashing. But she was trying.
It's because you're doing your live in the closet. If you get out of the closet,
It's
then you
not a
you'll
closet.
have a better reception,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
we're not in a closet.
I see
lighting
clothes
in
hanging
here is
over your head. I see clothes hanging over your head, Trey.
It's a closet.
Oh yeah, that's just coats hanging on the back of his door.
Yeah, but there's a chair on the
But she
other
was trying to
side,
say that. Yeah.
It's the door.
But yeah,
Not
she
a
was
closet.
trying. But yeah, she was trying to say that the hornworm system.
Yes, whenever we have hornworms, either KK, Bunky, or Mom runs to come and get me, and then I pick up the hornworms and I feed them to my emus. And if the emus don't eat them, then the goat does, which is weird.
Yeah.
Well, the chickens and the ducks.
We're not
don't eat
in
them?
a closet.
And so they would, but the emus are closer because
Yeah.
you have the garden, and right next to the garden is the emus.
Yeah.
But the goat can get in with the emus.
So
it's happened.
Bailey likes eating the hornworms, which is disgusting.
So you pick them off though. That little thing on the back end, does that do anything?
No, it's actually perfectly harmless. I was actually curious about this, so I started poking it. They can't do anything with it. It's not toxic or
Okay.
anything. You
But
can
it's
can
not,
tap
it's not
it.
like a sticker or
No, I
anything?
Well, it's probably
No,
it's,
I think
probably
it's
something
actually
there.
kind
To,
of flimsy.
no, I think it's for predators. It's to show predators, hey, I got something here. I'll get you.
I got this.
Yeah, I think it's more to show that they look threatening because
Right.
it's actually kind of flimsy. It can't do much.
Hmm.
So you can pick them up with your fingers, which is tough because they cling to the tomato branch, and if you squeeze too
That's
hard,
why
they
they
leak
broke
green.
Yeah, that's why they broke
Yeah,
in half.
so I find it easier to just trim off the tomato branch that they're sitting on
They
because
just
usually
took the
they're
branch.
sitting on the end of a tomato branch.
Right.
Usually they're like right at the end, and you can just snip it off. But if they're on like in the middle of a tomato branch, then you just take them off. It's better for the tomato if you don't do that.
Yeah. But
It's
they're
not a
gone.
closet.
Yes, they are. They are
They are
gross.
gross. Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
Before we move on to checking the videos, unless you've already done that, I did want to
No.
ask that the people in the community keep Mr. Charles Bushcraft family in their prayers. His son was in an accident, and the whole family is just going through a lot right now.
Yeah. If you guys can check out the video, he put up a video about what
He
happened.
put up a video.
And just watch the video, leave a comment, let him know that you're thinking about him, praying for him, because it sounds like a horrible thing to go through. I just realized this is still rolled up.
But they're going through a really hard time right now, so we'd appreciate your prayers.
Okay. You want Jesse to go over the stats?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you guys can go over the survival seed stats now.
Yeah, so we weren't here last week, and I'm sure you guys had a great time since we weren't here. Y'all were probably just overjoyed,
Oh, we missed
jumping
you.
for joy, and But this is actually 2 weeks worth of work here. So it's we had 8 new videos of the month since last 2 weeks. We have 32 total for the month and 10 NA videos, totaling 42 with the grand total of almost 600 videos.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's so cool.
That's so cool.
Almost 600 total videos. Yeah, well, just forget the NA videos, which is almost 100. You still got 421 video updates and 76 entry videos, and no telling how many final videos we'll have. So remember to get your final videos in. If you're going to put in a video, if you want to be included in the final drawing, not tomorrow or not next week's drawing, but the final video drawing. So make sure you put your final video, put hashtag Survival Seeds 2024.
But you have to put final in it, right?
Yeah, put final video in there. If you want to be on the final wheel. If you don't have a final on your description, it's not going to get included.
You'll be in the update one.
Yeah, you'll just be in the normal update. Okay, so we may have 2 finals. So we're looking forward to it. Tomorrow, or next week, we're going to have about $566 worth of prizes to be given away, and that's not even
September's prize.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
the big.
That is awesome.
The silver one's going to be really big, really big.
That's going to be so cool.
Yeah. We might even give away a new car. You know, you just never know what you're going to get.
I'd enter that one.
Huge.
I would enter that one.
I would. Yeah. I'm gonna start a duck. I'm gonna start a rubber duck collection. That's in my itinerary for, I don't know.
Whenever you go to a gig, just pick up a rubber duck.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy a rubber duck everywhere we go ever.
There you go. Yeah.
Start my collection right on the bottom of them where I got it, just for memories.
Yeah.
Nice.
And without any further ado, did I use that right?
Sure. Go with
Here
it.
is our interview for today. Miss Glenda Grace and Fire.
Hey. Hey.
We know you.
I know you. I think I was hanging out with you just recently, just a couple of days ago.
That's right.
Nice.
That's right.
How
are you?
I am doing good. I was just listening to you talk about the hornworms on your tomato plants. And
oh, man.
Yeah, so I went out to the garden tonight to pick some tomatoes and bell peppers and green beans. And I found a couple of hornworms, but we have the parasitic wasp on them. And I'm leaving them alone because the larvae will eat the hornworm from the inside out. It is gross.
Oh, wow.
Parasitic wasp? I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, I'll show you.
I've heard of those.
This is not my personal picture, but I will show you what they look like. It's all those, whoops, hang on. It's all those little white dots on the hornworm.
I'm going to make you big if you don't mind.
There you go.
That's fascinating, actually.
Yeah, so
wow.
The larvae will eat the hornworm from the inside out.
See the hornworm?
Yeah.
So, so I have that going on right now, and I thought, just leave them alone, let nature do its thing.
Yeah,
and, I've read about those. They're super cool.
Yeah, they are. It's really, the first time I saw it, I was really grossed out. Like, what is going on? Should I take it off? Is it going to hurt my plant? Are we getting more pests? And then I did a little research. I'm like, just let nature do its thing, you know? And then I have a really pretty, beautiful garden spider. I don't know exactly. She's about like that big. And she's got a little weave on the back of her. And then in the web, it does like a little zigzag. And that means your garden is empty. So I don't know. I love seeing all the bugs out there and seeing what's in the garden.
So cool.
There's
is your spider web name or spider name Charlotte?
Yes. I just wasn't going to tell her about what's going to happen to Wilbur, you know?
Yeah, you can't.
Wilbur's going to be in my belly.
Wilbur's going to Jesse for breakfast in the morning.
That's right.
But no,
Charlotte will find a way to stop you.
I know, right? But yeah, so I just thought that was really fascinating. We're talking about the hornworms.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very cool.
But right now I'm also dealing with grasshoppers too, and there's way too many. But my hens are pretty close to the garden, and I've noticed when I've let them out that they're running around chasing those grasshoppers.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah. So it's fun to watch the girls.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
This is factually incorrect. I would not kill the spider. I would get someone else to do so.
She would run on the screen and get me to kill the spider.
Oh, well, I just leave them alone because that's the kind of spider that I have out there is a healthy kind, and she's helping me with the pest in the garden.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I have this huge...
It's nature's Devo.
Yeah. So I have this garden that I used to share with a neighbor, and he used a lot of pesticides on his side of the garden, and like really harsh stuff that I really wish he hadn't. And I never saw all these bugs ever. Like I never saw this beautiful garden spider, and I've never seen like as many ladybugs as I've had out there. And since I've been able to take over and it's become mine, it's just really a pleasure to go out there and see what's out there. And if I can leave it, I'll leave it. Right. It's just the natural cycle.
Yeah.
Right.
It's beautiful. Yeah. Like I find it very interesting that specifically for spiders and snakes, they're feared by so many people.
Yeah.
But like, yes, they can be dangerous, and yes, it's probably a good idea to not catch them and stuff.
Sure.
But they're also very, very helpful. A spider and a snake isn't going to eat your garden. They're going to eat what's eating your garden. Snakes eat mice. Spiders eat insects. So they're actually really helpful, and the perfect balance of everything can actually lead to a very, very healthy farm.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's something that's very cool that you're doing.
Yeah. So I don't like to spray my garden down with anything. It's all very natural out there. I can't say it's an organic garden because it sits next to a friend's cornfield. I love that. See, we've got some of those too, Jesse. In real life, we've got some of those dragonflies.
Oh, they got some real ones.
These love mosquitoes.
Yep, they do.
If you can't wear vanilla, wear one of these, and I guarantee
dragonflies.
The dragonflies, the mosquitoes, natural predator, and you won't have no mosquito problem.
Well, I had a lot of aphids in the garden, so I released ladybugs a couple of years ago, and there was not any prior to that. I didn't see any ladybugs, and now I have a little ladybug house in my backyard, and so I don't know where they're living at. They could be living underneath the garden fabric too, for all I know. And we've been having a lot of ladybugs too. So that's another nature's way.
I love ladybugs.
Yeah, I do too. We used to live in England many years ago, and my youngest used to collect ladybugs, but they're not called ladybugs over there. They're called ladybirds. So he'd have a pocket full of ladybirds, and yeah, I've got a special thing with the ladybug. So yeah, but
it's awesome.
Yeah. So I've been really excited to be a part of this collab. This has been a lot of fun.
It's been amazing.
It has.
It came out a lot different and bigger than we thought it would be, and we're just incredibly psyched to see that the community's thrived the way it has.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the best part about it is all the different ideas that people come up with, and you learn from each other that way. You go, wow, I would have never thought to do it that way, but it works for them. Maybe it'll work for us.
Absolutely,
and that's the best thing about it. Mm-hmm.
It's all about the learning.
And I know that every zone or every area has different problems with their zone that maybe we may not. Like for example, we don't have an issue with frost, right? Whereas the vineyard chicks live up in Michigan, they have to worry about frost, and so we have less of that. But we do have the intense, and I'm talking intense.
You get the
heat and humidity, which affects a lot of your gardens, So it's good to see how, for example, Lisa uses the hydroponic system for growing lettuce and her herbs and that kind of stuff that we grow in.
Or even just starting stuff.
Or just starting stuff, even carrots. But you can do that here, and we can do it year round. So, it's great that there's a bunch of different people from all over the different zones and parts of, even the world. Some other folks that want to be a part of it, like in Australia or even the UK. So it's good to know what everybody else is doing.
It really is. And I just saw Rem said his growing season is over, and we're approaching it. We're another month, and then we'll be joining you.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, we did notice that the leaves are starting to change up there in Indiana and Kentucky and up north of us, but it's just hard to believe. We got down back to Texas and everything was green as if it was start of summer.
I'm just thinking of starting some onions and radishes outside because it's
still summer for us.
Still summer, but it's not the intense heat.
It's not the intense summer, but it's still summer.
So I'm thinking, well, I'll try them and see if they grow.
Right.
Yeah. And see, we can grow cold crops up until about November. So the cold crops, you should have had them started as seedlings now to transplant out. You can grow those. And then in November, and I've done it even as late as December, I put my garlic bulbs in the ground for the winter. You need a cold snap for garlic, so that way it splits the bulb. But I've been growing garlic. I actually just harvested my 6th season of the original bulbs that I bought. So I always save the garlic bulbs and then just I take the biggest ones, and that's what I'll replant in the fall. But this will be going into my 7th one from the original. So I can't tell you what variety of garlic I'm growing because it's been so long and I've forgotten that we just call it the Grace and Fire garlic. We don't know. That's the variety.
What about your figs? When will your figs start putting out?
So the figs are actually right now slowly starting to change color. I checked out.
Yeah, but they're green still.
Yeah. So they're still green, but I have about 25 in the freezer right now. So I have 3 fig trees that I've grown for a couple of years, and 1 baby one that was just given to me this year. On the 3 out there, they're loaded full of figs, but right now most of them are green, but they're slowly starting to turn purple. They are a Chicago hardy fig is what the variety that I'm growing in my area, which is, probably figs like warmer weather. So that's probably the only variety I could grow here. So they are slowly starting to turn, and I keep going outside and just keep looking because this is the first year I've had as many as I've had. I get more and more every year. In fact, this is last year's harvest that I freeze dried. That's all I got from last year.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm getting quite more. Yeah. So I'm getting quite a few more as the years are going on. But right now,
that's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm hoping to make some fig jam for the first time. But I just keep saving each of the figs. I'm like one by one, throw it in the freezer. And then when I get enough, then I'll make some.
Going back to the fig freeze drying. Now, do you freeze dry the whole fig, or do you puree it first and then do a spread?
Nope. I've split them.
I just cut them in half.
Oh, so you just cut them in half?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So they're actually, these are in quarters, but so that way the freeze dryer can get all the way through that skin. Because as you know, if you don't, in some fruits, you need to cut it. Otherwise, it won't freeze dry properly. So I cut it in quarters. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have those fig trees growing, and then I'm hoping next year I'll get some peaches. I have 2 peach trees. They're the ones I didn't point them out to you, Lisa and Jesse, but they're the ones at the end of the chicken coop in the pots. But they're going to be going into the ground this fall sometime. And then I also have 2 apple trees, but I've never gotten apples on them. So I'm still waiting on those to mature a little bit more. And then hopefully I'll
And
get
she's got access to a whole
Right.
ton of deer corn.
Yeah, I have a whole lot of corn for the deer right now. A whole lot. I
There's
live
a ton of
Nice.
corn.
right next to a farm, and this year is the year of the corn. Next year will be soy.
Soy.
And then in between, they grow winter rye. So we'll have that as well. And that helps
Wow.
amend the soil for them.
Yep.
But it's not my farm. I live right next to one, and I'm friends with them. So I have a little bit of the insight
Nice.
on that. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, that's great.
That's awesome.
oh
Yeah,
my
that's super
goodness.
cool that you're growing those. Those are some pretty cool trees that we're trying to grow some fruit trees, but they haven't produced anything yet.
We have this like 5 or 6 year old pear tree that's never done anything in its life.
Well, it doesn't actually.
He just chills.
He doesn't have another pear tree to be with.
Mhm.
Oh.
He's sad and lonely.
Yeah, you need to.
Okay.
Yeah, they
He has an excuse then.
have a different variety, I think, of a pear in order to get fruit off of the tree. So,
Okay.
the other thing, I don't actually have it on my property, but a friend of mine has it, and is persimmon trees. So I love a good persimmon pudding. There is a
Persimmons
family
are great.
history. I'm sorry.
Oh. Persimmons are great. I've never heard of a pudding.
Oh yeah. So it's like a wet bread. It's a fall treat. Has like all the fall flavors.
It's almost like a custard, really. It's almost like a custard.
Cool.
And to me, it tasted like something you would
Very
have in the
cool.
fall. I mean, like a fall,
Well, see, I
like
thought it
almost like a
tasted,
carrot.
like a spice bread.
like a
almost.
spice bread or a carrot cake or something. Yeah,
Mhm.
it has
It
a
falls
fall
in.
flavor.
Very
And we're
cool.
not talking about the
And that
Jack-
might be because they fall to the ground and you pick them up.
That's you have. Don't ever pick. So the North American persimmon trees. My recommendation would not be to pick those off the tree because they're bitter. You want them to actually hit the ground. A lot of people will put sheets out or a tarp just so that way they don't get any grass or any dirt
Take a
on
break.
it. They are not the same as the Fuyu. I think it is the variety of Japanese persimmons. These are, they're like
Those are
this
small
big,
ones. They're like little bitty, yeah.
little itty bitty, small,
Oh.
little itty bitty ones.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I was thinking them as super soft. And if they're falling from the tree, I would expect those ones to break.
Yeah, they're super soft, and so you want them to fall. You don't want them to get in the ground. They get a lot of grass, so it's better to put something down. And then you have to use a
Right.
food mill to
Okay.
get the seeds out. Mhm. Yeah, so I get to go collect
Oh.
it. I've got some seeds
That's awesome.
from their tree plant or in a pot of dirt, so I'm hoping to get some trees at some point. It'll take a few years, but I'm hoping.
Well, can you do a, what do you call those? Like what's it called? Where you graft? Can you graft part of the persimmon tree onto an established tree?
You might be able to. I'm not sure about that. That's a great question.
Because that would probably speed the process.
That'd be cool,
up, especially
actually.
one that,
That'd be very cool.
yeah, it would be. If you could
Yeah.
graft one, maybe somebody in the chat would know, but I don't know. It just seemed
Right.
like you could do it. They do it with citrus all the time. And
Yeah.
probably with apples
Right.
and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great
It's
question. I
actually,
don't really know.
There's actually been hybrid things where they just like stick 3 or 4 different fruits on this one tree and they grow different stuff. And I love those. I tried to convince Dad to get one when I was like 11, but he didn't like it.
Okay.
I mean, we got one. I know that had to been grafted because it's a pineapple orange tree. So it's probably an orange tree that was grafted, or a pineapple that was grafted to an orange tree. So that's why they call it the pineapple orange. And it doesn't taste like pineapple. It tastes more like an orange.
Yeah,
You know.
really. The one orange we got off.
Yeah,
of
the one we got off it is just like, but it's a little bitty. It's small, but it did produce one of the oranges one year.
Now, how long have
Hopefully
you
this
had it?
It's only been out there like 2 years, right? This is the second year,
No,
3 years.
3 or 4 years maybe.
Okay, so it's like 3 or 4. It's only about 7 foot high, 6 foot high maybe. right now.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
still
tip.
small.
As a tip, and it's like so. We're hoping because we've lost several of them in freezes here.
Yeah, it seems like every time they get blossoms on it, we get a storm, and the wind just whips around the side of the house and
Knocks them all off.
Oh.
So maybe we didn't put it in the right spot.
Yeah.
Maybe. I tried growing a key lime tree. For my area, people bring them into the house and they put them in direct sunlight. So in my office in the winter, I get a ton of sunlight. Yeah, that thing went out the door. I had mealy bugs all over it, and I kept trying to get it cleaned and off because there's really no way of getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
So I'm sure the people in the chat don't know, but your garden, by the way, she has a lovely garden. She has all that real nice black paper down, or the black weed blocker down.
Yeah.
And then she's got strategic holes all in the weed block. And she's got a ton of tomatoes. But I mean, what else do you have? Tell us what else do you have in your garden, Glenda?
So right now I'm actually growing Chinese long noodle beans, and I brought one in. It kind of looks weird.
Oh, look at that!
This
looks like vanilla.
It does, doesn't it? And it tastes just like a green bean, and it grows up on a fence. So
now is that hard? I mean, that's ready there. Is that, or did you pick it early or late?
Right now, yeah,
really?
yeah.
So it's that color. Wow.
Yep. And in fact, you want to get them when they're kind of thin, because if you let them get too thick, then really it's only good for the beans. So then you could save the beans and cook those.
Right.
I brought one in so you could see what it looks like when they dry out. So this is a dried up one versus.
Okay, and that's a limp one. Yeah. Still got moisture.
Mm-hmm. So I save the seeds from these from year to year. And so I've got Chinese long noodle beans growing. And then, of course, I have the peppers all growing out there, different kinds. I normally grow jalapenos. And this year, somehow, I forgot to grow my jalapenos. I grow purple ones and brown ones. So, yeah, I didn't get those in the ground. But
looks like somebody's going to Costco this year.
Somebody's going to Costco. Support my local Costco down the road, you know?
Yeah.
I support local Costco. But let's see here. I also have marshmallow, which is you dig up the roots and you use it when you're sick. It's got a gelatinous texture to it. So I'll be digging that up this fall, just a little bit of it because I want it to come back next year.
Now explain what was the name of that long bean again?
It's a Chinese long noodle bean.
Chinese long noodle bean. Okay.
Yep. Chinese long noodle bean.
Wow.
Yeah, we grew some of those. Those are super fun.
Yeah, they're fun. But now I'll tell you, they need to grow up on something. The first year I grew them up on my sunflowers. So I got the sunflowers growing about a month ahead, and then I put the seeds around. I did this with green beans too. I put the seeds around at the base of it, and then it literally grows up the vine or up the stalk of the sunflower. So it's its own little stake, natural stake. I didn't have to buy anything.
Right. That's thinking out of the box.
Yeah.
Outside the box.
It is. And then we went ahead and we put fencing up just because we want to be able to rotate our crops out. I like to take the tomatoes and put them up on the fence. Right now it's like overgrown. It's ready. We're at the end of the season, but I like to grow the tomatoes up instead of letting them be all on the ground because we have rabbits that'll come in and eat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then the chickens will go in and eat it too if I'm not careful. I like to grow it up.
Do you grow the beans around the sunflower stalks after you've already exhausted the sunflower stalk, or do you do them?
Yeah, absolutely. Every 6
Because it doesn't smother the stalk. It doesn't smother the sunflower.
No.
Wow.
No, I've never had a problem with it. I didn't do it this year. This year was my slacker of a year. I did everything I normally do. In fact, my garden wasn't as robust as it's been in years past. It's been a lot more. I've had a lot more variety out there. I struggled with a few things like watermelon and cantaloupe this year for some reason. I've always had really good success. And also with Kajari melons, I like to grow that. They're like a personal cantaloupe, but the color of a honeydew.
Oh,
And
wow.
they're only like this big. Yeah, I didn't get any this year, but I really love a Kajari melon.
That sounds good.
Oh, we've had those. That sounds familiar. Yeah, I think Bucky grew those.
Okay. Yeah, they're good with a little bit of salt on them. Just a little.
Ooh.
Bring the sweetness out.
Yeah, I love salt on my cantaloupe and watermelon.
Me too. I knew I liked you for some reason, Jesse. We get along.
Who doesn't like salt on their watermelon? Please, come on.
Well, I was actually drinking my water, and I have this salt electrolyte drink, and I was drinking the watermelon flavor tonight. So watermelon salt.
That's an interesting combination.
Yeah. But so let's see here. So then also I grew artichokes. And the key to that in my area is you winter seed sow them. So I save all of the water jugs starting about November timeframe. And then I purchase a huge big bag of potting mix. You can do the seed starting mix, but I've not had the best luck. So I buy potting soil for a raised garden bed. And then in January, I cut the jug almost in half, but not quite. I leave just a little bit. And I'll puncture holes at the bottom of the milk jug. And then I'll put my seeds down in there. And then I duct tape around. And then I water it in real good. And I just leave it outside. And then in May, when I'm ready to plant that up, they've already germinated and they're ready to go. And I've had better luck with artichokes doing it that way than starting them indoors and taking them out.
Right.
So that's my little key to that. So let me think. What else have I had out there? I've got lots of herbs. And
Did you plant any potatoes? Any potatoes this year?
I did get potatoes. I grew those in my raised garden bed. And that was kind of a fun thing because I do support my local Costco. And I purchased a bag of mini potatoes. They were organic and they all started getting the eyes on them. So I went outside and just popped them in the dirt because they're too far gone by that point to eat. I mean, if they're real little, like you can pop the eyes off and it's fine. But these were like way gone because I forgot about them. So I stuck them in the ground and got a harvest of little potatoes. So
wow.
I grew that. Normally I grow sweet potatoes. I didn't do that this year. Not at all.
Well, you have been slacking all year this year. Come on. What's up with that?
I don't know what's wrong with me. Yeah, it was kind of when you came over and you saw my garden, I was kind of embarrassed. I thought, man, this thing looks so much better year from year past. But I did grow butternut squash for the first time.
Awesome.
I saved this one just for you guys to see, and I'll probably use it in the end of my when I do my final video. But in my freezer, I have a whole bunch of it just chopped up and ready to go so I can bake it up.
Now, you can't use that until after Halloween. You have to put that on your porch.
Is this neat?
Until after Halloween. Yeah, it's if you don't, it's like Friday the 13th, or it's like, walking under a ladder. It's bad luck to eat the squash before Halloween.
Are the squash mummies gonna get me if I eat it before?
Yeah, well, you might get squashed. I don't know if it's mummies or not, because daddies might do it too. But I just wouldn't touch them till after Halloween. That's just me. That's my.
I will hold off just because you said so. I'll wait.
You're saying. I think everybody in the
if
chat
you're
would
gonna
agree.
do long-term storage on it, it's actually probably a good thing to leave it outside for a bit so that it gets a thicker skin.
Yeah.
See? See?
Yeah. Well, I'll leave
even a little 18-year-old girl knows that.
I think she's pretty wise, so I'll take her advice. I also grew zucchini and summer squash, and I freeze dried it. So that is my zucchini and summer squash. I'll throw this in meatloaf. I'll make bread with it. I'll throw it in spaghetti just to bump up what we're eating.
I've never seen a jar grill before. That's nice.
That's a pretty big jar, isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah, but it's all shredded. I went ahead and did that, and then I freeze dried it, and then I grew peas. So,
Nice.
and then I freeze dried these as well. So these are a spring crop for us. So they're ready for like soups, and we like to eat ramen. So
Very cool.
Ramen.
That's very cool.
And then I grew green beans, and then there's some of the Chinese long noodle beans in there too. So that's freeze dried.
So
but I also
black or purple then. The Chinese are black.
They're purple, but for whatever reason, when I blanched them, they turned like a black color.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
black.
Yeah, black, and which is good gum, by the way. If you're not feeling good, get you some black gum.
That's right.
Hashtag not sponsored, but you know. And then I grew the kidney beans.
Hey.
Yes.
Awesome. You got saved.
Yep, I've got them saved. And then the pepperoncinis, I grew those. And here's my seeds saved.
Whoa.
There you go.
You've done very well with this.
Yeah. And then I wasn't going to save the seeds for the Mariana tomatoes, but somebody kind of convinced me to. And the reason I wasn't going to save them is because they are a hybrid, and they're not the same as GMO. Please don't confuse the two. A hybrid means you have a mother plant and a father plant, and they took the best of both worlds and made a hybrid. And so I don't know what I'll get next year, but I'm saving them right now. I just put them in. We'll see what happens.
So
we'll grow them next year.
They're no different than your. They're no different than your children.
You don't know what you're going to get.
You never know what you're going to get.
You don't know what you're going to get. But I am going to go ahead and save them. I'm the ones that are not viable, the seeds, they'll float to the top. So I'll just remove those. And then I'll, in the next couple of days, I'll just keep rinsing and putting in new water and keep saving seeds. I actually do save another tomato seed that's out in the garden, and I don't know what variety it is. I've done this since 2020. It is a red and yellow hybrid mix of some sort, but it is the most juiciest tomato on a bacon sandwich. Love it. Love it. So yeah, that will be the tomatoes actually in the house right now. I've got it, and I'll be cutting it up later and getting that ready to go, because this girl's got to keep saving those seeds, and it's free food for next year. So why wouldn't you want to save seeds, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So,
and speaking of seeds, so let me ask you, I know because you were with us when we went to, what was it, Hobby Lobby? Yeah, Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
So where do you buy your seeds when you need to go buy seeds? I know you found some at Hobby Lobby. Believe it or not, there's seeds at Hobby Lobby.
There is seeds at Hobby Lobby. Yep.
And they were cheap.
Last year I was given a bunch of seeds from someone I know who worked at Tractor Supply, and they just were getting rid of seeds. And so I've gotten them there last year. And then I also go to seed swaps. So there are local seed swaps in a lot of areas. Check out your local extension office and find out if they have any information. That they're a great source of information. So definitely go check them out. And then if I have to purchase seeds, I either go to Mi Gardener or rareseeds.com.
Okay, so you don't go to any local places where you can find them, like Home Depot or Lowe's or Ace Hardware.
Not typically, because most of the seeds I've gotten, I've either exchanged seeds for, which that's a huge bulk of where I've gotten them, or somebody was just getting rid of them, and they're like, "Here, you want some seeds?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take some seeds. I love my seeds." And then I wish I had shown you, Lisa, I have boxes full of seeds. I mean, and I keep them in a cool, dry, dark place, just so that way they go from year to year. They say seeds don't technically expire. The issue is the germination rate. And I will test germinate in about February, kind of get an idea if the seeds are viable or not. And if they're not, no big deal, but I've grown seeds from 5 and 6 years ago and had great success with it, with the plant. It's just more about the germination rate. So
Yeah.
And how you store them too.
Right.
yeah, it really is. You don't want them in a sunny, hot area. Don't put them in your garage. Don't put them in the hottest room in your house. You really want to keep them cool. And they'll last for years and years. And I've been doing this, I've been gardening since 2012. So,
I'll say this, Lisa had some seeds that she kept we have an extra refrigerator in the garage. We've had them out there for 20 years.
Mhm.
So these seeds were out there for like 20 years, and she pulled them out and planted some of them, and some of them grew, some of them didn't.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
a couple of years ago. Yeah, I did.
20 years. Yeah.
Most of them germinated, but I can't say that I really got anything from them.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
But I don't remember a whole lot about that year.
That's all good.
Thank you, Christy, for coming in. Christy Baum.
Hello.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Local
So-
places. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
So, Miss Glenda, what is your favorite thing to grow of everything you've ever grown?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Ooh, that is
Everything?
okay. So overall, in general, even if I didn't grow it this year, I have two though. I don't know how to narrow it down. So one that I grow every year that I have really good success is that tomato that I have no idea what the variety is. It's just one that I saved. The one that I didn't grow this year that I really am kicking myself that I really miss was the Kajari melon. That absolutely is my favorite because it's a personal size melon. You can just sit and eat the whole thing. And I don't like to eat melon if it comes out of the refrigerator. I like it from the garden. I like to cut it open and eat it right away. So I think I really just like that Kajari melon. Yeah.
Funky grew that one year, and she loved it. Those are super cool.
They are, and they're really sweet too.
Yeah.
It's definitely something to try. You can get the seeds from rareseeds.com is where those come from.
Do you ever grow those patty pans?
No, but my daughter-in-law's mother grows them, and I got to try one. I had never heard of them, and she handed me one, and I thought, what do I do with this thing? So, but it was really good. I chopped it up and put it in as a side dish, and it was good.
I'll tell you what you do with it. You put it right next to that butternut squash out there on the porch.
So the squash mummies don't come in the house, correct?
Yeah, squash. That's right.
He's taking care of me. I'm so glad.
So, what's your least favorite thing to grow?
I know exactly. I grew it. I know exactly which one it is, and I will never grow it again. It's the Brad's Atomic tomato. It is
What was wrong with it?
horrible. Oh, it's got a horrible taste to it. It was
Really?
bitter. Oh, I did not like it. I did everything to get even my hens to eat it, and they refused to eat it. Of course, this was in their season of I hate tomatoes because my hens didn't like to eat tomatoes. Now they love them. But yeah, I see Rochelle hates the Brad Atomic grape too. Yeah. Never again. I tossed those seeds out and I didn't even bother giving them away because I hated them that bad.
Wow.
Yeah, not my jam.
So do you think they're like a tomato, like for filler, like making some sauces out of it, or making ketchup, something? You think there's something like kind of like there's not all apples are good for eating fresh. Some of them are better for cooking. Do you think that tomato's like
I
that?
would say when somebody can answer that question for me, I'd love to know because
We grow
hated 'em.
tomatoes that look similar to that, and we had them raw. I mean, I don't know for sure if it was that or not, but we had some similarly colored tomatoes.
Yeah.
I don't think everyone liked them though.
Oh,
yeah.
so Rochelle says they're cherry, so they're really small.
Yeah, they're not worth it. I would
They're not worth
rather
it.
grow a pear cherry tomato or a 4th of July tomato over that Brad's Atomic. In fact, that's what I've got in here. I used to grow all kinds of new things because I wanted to learn what grows well in my area. What do I like? What do I not like? I do believe in trying something new every year. So I do try something new. So for me this year was the butternut squash. Okay. But I will not grow more than one new thing every year because I'm narrowing it down to things that Sir Grace and I like to eat and family members that will take the food off my hands if I get too much. So that's just one I'll never do again. Ever. But I don't want to deter anybody. You know, you give it a shot and see what you think. And it could be the soil that I have. I know I grew huckleberry, 2 years ago. And I heard huckleberry was supposed to have a really good taste. And I had tried huckleberry from somewhere else. I think it was jam is what it was. And it tasted good, but I just didn't like it. And when I did some research on it, it said it could be the soil that it's growing in. So I still like huckleberry. I just didn't like the one I grew. But so I don't want to discourage anybody either.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. Grace NYC, grow what you eat. That's so important. Because
otherwise it's a waste.
Yeah, you're wasting it, and your animals may not like it either, which was the situation with my girls.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're doing, like you're doing some kind of community garden, or you're giving it away to family. And then again, they may not eat it. So you're almost better off just canning it yourself or doing something with it.
Yeah. Well, and I like to share food that I like too, because there's something I love to be able to, like, my mother comes over, and when she first stepped into the garden and I went, hey Mom, this is my pear tomato, or this is the 4th of July cherry tomato, and being able to tell the history of it and why I like it and what the flavors are, because I already know what it tastes like. And then she could determine whether or not she liked it. Of course, I knew she would fall in love with these tomatoes. But I think it's important, if you're going to share and want to be of a giving heart, that you have some idea of what you're sharing. You know what I mean? So that way, say, hey, this is really sweet. And if you don't like sweet, you like bitter, you know what I mean? You can go, oh, I'll go this direction,
Right.
So there's something to be said about knowing what you're giving away to.
Right.
Although I always laugh because they say, teach a woman to garden, she'll grow zucchini for the entire neighborhood. And I would say that I was begging people to, here, take some zucchini. Take some zucchini. Goodbye, zucchini.
No, I wasn't a fan of zucchini until Lisa started making zucchini bread.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, you can't give us enough of zucchini, and especially now I know you can freeze it, and shred it and freeze it and get it ready. Freeze dry it. You can do whatever. But making that zucchini bread was the turning point for me. And I'll eat zucchini. You can cook it, boil it, whatever, and fry it or grill it. And it's okay. But man, when you make zucchini bread out of it, I'm all in. I'm all in.
And see, another reason why I like you, Jesse, because I don't like to eat zucchini either, but I love zucchini bread. And I love to sneak it into meatloaf and spaghetti and have it as a filler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luffy loves
that's cool. Yeah, we gotta try and get Kiki to eat zucchini bread because she won't touch zucchini.
I don't enjoy willingly putting myself through pain. So
wait a minute. Listen, KK, go to Mennonite Farmhouse and look up zucchini, pina colada zucchini bread. Pina colada. I'm telling you, the recipe she has is amazing.
I really can't.
I may not always tell the truth, but I never lie.
Can I ask a question? Do you like banana bread?
I do.
It's
Well, it
very
tastes no
similar
different.
to it.
It's very
I
similar.
don't know
It's
what it is about it because it's like it's either the aftertaste or the texture or something, but there's like
No,
something that's
no,
inherently.
I disagree. You can't even tell the zucchini's in it. Like Lisa
Right.
said, you can't even tell the zucchini's in it.
Because
I
like when
We're gonna try it.
well, yeah, because like I can remember being little and someone I know made zucchini bread, and I thought it was going to be really good because like it's just like banana bread, and it wasn't.
Oh, wow.
And I felt very betrayed, and I was a very
We're
sad
gonna try it.
6-year-old.
We're gonna try it.
There really
Look at
isn't
that.
much texture to it once it's baked in bread. If you shred it right,
what I'm-
there's not much
That's what I'm
texture.
talking about, Rochelle.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
what
know.
I'm talking about.
That's a lot of effort though for
We can
something
do
I know
it.
I don't like.
Zucchini quesadillas. I'm all in with that too. Come on.
That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Oh, here you go. So Grace, New York City says use brown sugar instead of white sugar.
Mm-hmm.
That might be what the trick is too.
And shred some carrots too.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, then it becomes carrot cake.
Bread.
The bread, carrot cake
Right,
bread.
zucchini bread.
You want
I really
the pina
like
colada taste. The pina colada taste.
Well, that's
that comes
different than that's different than just regular zucchini bread.
Yeah.
There was actually this really good thing that we ended up doing with zucchinis this one time, and you cut it up really small, and then you put it in a bowl and you give it to your chickens,
Oh.
and that was great.
Now my girls
Yeah,
love zucchini. I will say that. I have to keep the girls out of the garden when the zucchini's going.
That's interesting. Huh.
Yeah, they don't typically mess with too much. I know a lot of hens, they tear up gardens, but I only have one, and I have 2 gardens running. I have a raised bed, and then I have actually I have 2 raised beds. One that's really big in the backyard, and then I have a smaller one up front, and then I have an in-ground bed.
Well,
So
the one in our room is pretty high too. So you have 3 raised beds.
I have 3 raised beds. Yeah, it was pretty high, wasn't it?
It's pretty high. So
Yeah.
almost need a pedestal to get on it.
But yeah, so I grow different things, but the girls don't typically mess up things. They're pretty good, pretty well behaved little girls.
Right.
Yeah, and right now
So,
there's a fence around them, so they can't really come into the garden.
So, Glenda, I want to ask you a question. I know the girls have asked a lot of the other guests. So, if we were to do this again next year, what seeds would you want to incorporate into the survival seeds, if not the same ones that they
would
pick?
you change any?
Would you change anything? Would you add anything? Would you take anything away?
You know, I've thought about that because we're all in different grow zones, and things grow differently for, like, what I grow here may not grow for you, right? And also the timing on this. But there is something, it'd have to be 2 different kinds of they're kind of the same thing, but they're 2 different things. So I think for the northern climate, I would like to see spinach grown.
Oh,
For the
Really?
southern climate, I think amaranth. Amaranth tastes like spinach. I've grown it in past, but it takes off more when our summer heat takes over.
very cool. That's really clever.
Yeah. So, and you treat it just like spinach.
Huh.
And so that would be what I would add to the collab personally. I know
Some sort of a leafy green then.
a leafy green. Yeah. Because there's a lot of vitamins and minerals in both of them. And I don't know all the science. I can't geek it out. I'll let you do your own research, but they're interchangeable. So in my area, we could do both. Spinach for us grows best if you start the seeds at the beginning of March, and I can go all the way up until May, and then that's it for us because our summer heat is too much on it. It goes to seed.
Right.
And then by that point, if I want to have the spinach flavor, then I grow amaranth. And then I can grow it again in the fall. But I know, like with Michigan, when can you grow spinach?
We start our spinach usually pretty early. We've stopped doing spinach lately because
We just
our
like
cabbage
beets
moths
better.
Yeah, and we prefer using beet leaves over spinach. No, wait, I'm thinking of kale.
Yeah, beet
No.
leaves are edible.
We use a lot of beets leaves in place of everything because you can put it in anything. So we kind of just use it as our spinach, kale, etc. substitute.
Right.
So we usually start with beets like March. But when we used to do spinach, I think that was also pretty early because if I remember correctly, it's pretty cold hardy.
It's very cold hardy. Yeah. So that would be my thought.
That's a very good thought.
Yeah. What's for the northern climate? What's for the southern climate? And I know that there are varieties of tomatoes. It's the same thing. There's some for the northern climate, some for the southern climate, and some for kind of in the middle. And I think just kind of tapping into what grows best in your area. But I don't think you should be deterred. If you're in a colder climate, I don't want to deter anybody because there are ways to grow things. You have to get creative.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a really great thought.
Gonna pull something up really quick. Dark Lord Manet made a comment. Please remember to visit Bushcraft Family to help out by watching their videos. This is our nephew.
Hi.
Aww.
Hi, sweetheart. Santa.
What's his name?
This is Johnny.
Hi, Johnny. It's a pleasure to meet you, sweetheart.
Hello, Johnny. How you doing? Are you being a good boy?
He's getting
He's got a Nerf gun, so I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Never mind.
Never mind.
The comment. Please remember to visit Bushcraft Family's videos to help out by watching their channel.
Yeah, his family's going through
his
a lot
family's
right
going through a
now,
really hard
and
time.
so just try and you show support. And then also, Garden State Gardener isn't going live for Sunday Funday again tonight, and his whole family's going through a lot with Joey and with his work. So just keep Mr. Charles and Mr. Joe in your prayers and check out their videos and just let them know you're thinking of them because they're going through a lot right now.
And the other thing I wanted to bring up while we're stopped is I make carrot. I was gonna have like this thing where I made carrot cake for my mom's birthday like every year, and I did it twice, and both times I grossly underestimated how long it takes to shred 8 carrots. But I did it by hand, and it took like 2 hours.
Oh my!
Any other kind
I
of
could have
cake.
any other thing.
15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
Put it in food processor. Take about 20
Processor,
seconds.
and I have no excuse other than that I did not think of it. So I know how to use it too. So.
It was a good cake, though. I enjoyed it.
So yeah, I
but
haven't done that.
Thank you so much for coming up here, Miss Glenda. We really enjoyed this.
Thank you, Glenda.
Thank you. This was an honor and a lot of fun. And I'm rocking out with my survival seeds
it looks
t-shirt.
Yeah, you are.
I don't think I've seen the red color before. It looks great.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I've been rocking it all day today.
Love the texture
Love
of that
it.
one.
I do too. And it's so
It's a
nice
very
and
nice
soft.
shirt.
See,
It's a very nice shirt.
there we go. I'm wearing it.
I love it.
Yep. Yep, I love it.
No, we're just sitting in front of a window.
Yeah, no, she does not have blonde roots. We're just in front of a sunny window.
I've actually never dyed my hair.
She actually has the darkest hair of the three of us. Hers is like almost black. It's that dark. We look just like Johnny.
I think I'm trying to check the chat again if there's anything else I wanted to bring up. But yeah, just keep Bushcraft and Mr. Joe in your prayers because they're both going through some very hard times. And we also have a link here for if you want to match Miss Glenda. I do personally recommend those jersey t-shirts. They're very comfortable.
Very comfy.
They're very comfortable and they're very, very.
Yeah, they're baseball
They look nice on her.
It's super soft too. So
It's very nice.
it's really, I mean,
Very comfortable.
yeah, it's not itchy, like, with it being 3/4 length, it's not itchy or
Yeah.
anything. It's super soft.
Yeah, and that's something that I was like kind of worried about because I got the same kind, different color. I was worried that it was gonna be itchy down there, but it's not. It's a really nice quality.
It really is. And it feels like it'll last and last and last.
It does. It seems like a very good t-shirt.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
if you're interested in getting a shirt like that, check out the Bonfire page. And thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you to Miss Glenda for talking about your
Yep.
harvest with us. Get some very cool topics. and to Mr. Jesse and Miss Lisa for being here and sharing your side of the collaboration. We're looking forward to next week, which is giveaway week. Excuse me.
Give it away now.
Next week.
Next week.
And thank you to everyone in chat. We really appreciate you guys. Careful. And thank you guys for being here, and we hope you guys have a great week.
Thanks so much for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Get those updates in.
Get those finals ready.
The deadline is October 18th.
At noon.
Get
At
your
noon.
final.
By noon, yeah. So Jesse.
Noon. I don't know which time zone though. Is it Eastern?
Central. No, Central.
Everything is our time zone. Everyone else has.
Revolves around Central.
1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, October 18th.
Okay, sometime it's noon somewhere.
Just to make it safe, go October 17th if you can.
Yeah, there you go.
But have a great night, guys.
everybody.
Bye.
See y'all. Bye.